Welcome everyone to another edition of of Wednesday Night Mayhem, live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is your girl MF Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. And guys, we're just gonna dive right on in. We start off as usual with AEW tonight. We start off with the AEW Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks. They went up against the Hybrid 2 in a non-title match. The winners of the bout in 11 minutes and 50 seconds was the Young Bucks. Solid match, good battle. 3 stars. I don't think I can go any more higher than that. It was a good, solid tag team match. I kind of feel like, I, all right. Maybe it's because of me, but I just don't see any contenders right now for the tag team titles at the moment. Um, but I did see Daniels and Kazarian coming out at the end. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels of SCU is probably like enough is enough, and maybe we want a shot at the tag team gold. If that's the case, oh boy, Kazarian and Daniels, they're no stranger to gold. I know that much. Former Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, and I do believe they were former TNA World Tag Team Champions at one time. So, and we already know the body of work of both men really well. Has SCU cemented their placement as maybe the next contenders? Anthony, what says you?
3 stars for me. All right. I'm gonna break this down the absolute best that I can here. The Bucks and TH2 are both talented teams, but this match had a couple of issues. The first problem was a lack of selling most of the big moves that took place. They moved from spot to spot too quickly without letting anything land. They slowed down as the match progressed, but still didn't do enough. The second problem was the overall pace. There were times when it was hard to know which team member was legal on either side. The third issue was the referee's complete lack of control. Refs are not supposed to draw attention from the action, but they do need to be active participants by trying to enforce the rules. This match is going to appeal to some fans and drive others up the wall, but that comes hand in hand with most matches involving the Young Bucks. This was fun, but far from perfect. Evans and Angelico have the potential to be one of the best teams in AEW if they are given the proper push against the right opponents. Evans had some great high spots. That's all I can say on this. So I'm going to give this a solid 3 stars. I agree with MF's rating, so not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 3 stars as well. I mean, it was, as you would say. I mean, what you just mentioned, and Florio. I mean, I think there's a saying that you would like to say it was solid but unspectacular, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I would say it. It was solid, but it was unspectacular just because of the things Florio mentioned. So yeah, and as far as Fletch saying that with SCU with being next in line, I could see it happening. I could see them being the next contenders for the AEW World Tag Team titles. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. So 3 stars for me. But like I said, it was solid but unspectacular. So Fletch, it's yours.
And normally we never ever talk about promo segments or anything else like that because I always like to try to keep things fast moving and whatnot. But this has to be addressed. It was Cody Rhodes. Well, it was Tony Schiavone in the ring with Cody Rhodes and Arn Anderson, interrupted by Sting. Now, I mean, okay, Anthony Florio, the nostalgia moment. Tony Schiavone and Sting, WCW, you know it. You felt it last week when Sting made his, I guess you could say his debut in AEW.
Hmm.
but I got a sense that Cody and Darby Allin are not really enthused that the icon has invaded AEW.
Oh no, no, indeed. But hearing Sting give his first non WWE promo in years was great, but he didn't exactly give us a lot to work with. All we know is he is interested in Darby Allin for some reason. Does he want to fight Darby Allin or manage him? AEW is obviously trying to make him mysterious, and so far it's working. The way he talked down to Cody at the end was a nice touch. It tells us this isn't a pure babyface thing, but he isn't a heel by any means. So, second best segment of the night for me. There was one segment I thought was better, so there's not much more to say. So Michael Bullock, what says you here?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you. I mean, this was the second best segment of the night. I mean, yeah, with Sting, I mean, it leaves you wondering, like, I mean, does he want to manage Darby Allen? I mean, or does he want to challenge him? I mean, I just don't see how he can challenge him because of the age that he's at. I mean, managing him, I could see that happening, and I just love the way he talked down to Cody Rhodes. So yeah, I mean, and as you said, just seeing Tony Schiavone and Sting in the same ring for the first time since their days in WCW, that was a sight definitely worth seeing. So there's really nothing more for me to say. Fletch, what says you?
Nostalgia aside, it was a good promo. It was pretty good. It was solid. I'm not going to say it was anything that would blow my mind or say, oh my god, that was absolutely the greatest thing ever. No, it wasn't. I mean, it was solid. It was good. Um, like I said, for all the WCW marks out there in the world, this was their moment. This was a home run and a half. You felt it. This is what you wanted it to see. So that was the great moment that you got. As far as it going beyond that, I mean, yeah, maybe not. You don't know. I mean, could I see him team or be the manager of Darby Allin? I think it's possible. Um, do I think the Cody Rhodes and Sting thing might happen? Well, based off what happened later in the night, I doubt that's gonna happen now. Because oh boy, later in the evening. All right. So, next thing we had was FTR. They went up against the Varsity Blondes, and it was FTR knocking them off in 8 minutes and 30 seconds. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you. So Dak Harwood and Cash Wheeler gets yet another win.
Yeah, this was their first match since losing the AEW World Tag Team titles to the Young Bucks at Full Gear. So I can tell you they looked really good. I mean, yeah, it was a short match, but in the short amount of time that it did get, I mean, I thought it was good for what it was. 2.5 stars is my rating for it. So yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. Fletch, FTR certainly getting back on track in the right direction after losing the belts to the Bucks.
You're absolutely right. 2.5 stars. I can't disagree with that. It could have been a lot more better. It could have gotten a lot more time. 8.5 minutes is actually kind of short in AEW standards. Um, and like I said, it was a fun little sprint. There was some good little action. But FTR needed to win that match. They needed the win more than anybody else, just to give the people, to let them know, hey, they're still dangerous, they're still a threat, and that they're still one of the top teams in AEW today, and they proved that. So check, check, and check on all the boxes here. Anthony, it's yours.
Yep. 2.5 stars. This was a more traditional tag match than what opened the show. Pillman and Garrison used some high-flying moves, but FTR kept them grounded enough to keep this from being a spot fest. Once again, the pace could have been taken down a notch so people could sell a bit more. However, they did enough to make this a good performance. The Varsity Blondes are young and have plenty of time to build themselves up. They looked good against a team known for its technical prowess. 2.5 stars. Move on.
Then we had a match. It was Dustin Rhodes versus Dark Order number 10. And it was Dustin Rhodes winning in less than 3 minutes, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm not gonna constitute a rating on this. I don't think it was anything special. This was a paint by numbers match. It was okay, I guess. I gotta call this worst fight of the night. I don't even think it's even worthy of any promo or anything for me. Guys, do you want to say anything, or do you just want to move on?
Move on.
Okay. Bullock will probably follow suit. All right. So next up we had was, well, it was Tony Schiavone with Brandy Rhodes. Brandy Rhodes' arm was in a sling. Well, apparently she got jumped by Jade Cargill. I guess that was the one that basically Brandy went all ratchet with a couple of weeks ago. Kind of left a lot of people not so happy with Brandy Rhodes. A lot of people got offended by the ratchetness. Basically how it went all street and hood, and a lot of fans got kind of put off by Brandy's little actions. Well, an individual begged to differ, and it was NBA legend and NBA on TNT inside the NBA guest or celebrity, Shaquille O'Neal. So Shaq came out. Then it kind of was going a little back and forth between Brandy and Shaq. And, Shaq said that, he didn't care for what Jade did to Brandy's arm, injuring it, and it kind of got a little interesting. And there's been some back and forth between Cody and Shaq on social media. And, at the end, it basically ended up where Brandy took some water, threw it at Shaq, calling him an overgrown a-hole. Okay, where do I begin? Alright, Brandy, I get it. You're a little jealous of Shaq's success. You're a little jealous that he's a bigger star than you are, sweetheart. That's fine. That's all good. But I know Shaquille O'Neal. He ain't gonna hit a woman. But he's gonna beat the living shit out of your husband. I can guarantee you that much. What you just did was you just opened a Pandora's box that you probably should not have opened. Because the Big Diesel is 7 foot tall. And he's about 280, 290, close to 300 bills. So you needed it to pick that fight? I don't know, my friend. I would not have done that, to be real honest with you. Alright, Anthony, give me your thoughts.
Yeah. Brandy was straight fire. What else is there to say? She was straight fire during this. And they say a woman is beautiful when she's angry. Well, let me tell you, she was a knockout here. And as Jerry the King Lawler would always eloquently say, if good looks were a crime, she'd be on death row. And she sure indeed was. And yeah, there's definitely a lot more to this story than there's definitely a lot more where this story is. So definitely more, plenty more in the tank for this thing to blow up. So we'll have to wait and see where this leads. So Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, I mean, we remember Brandy Rhodes when she was Eden Styles in the WWE when she was the ring announcer. She was, nice and sweet and all that, but oh no, that Brandy is long gone. That's all there is to say on that. So Bullock, I mean, wow. So that happened.
Yeah, that's a kind of a way of saying don't try to piss off this Brandy Rhodes because she will definitely tell it to you and then some. And all I all I could say is, damn, Brandy Rhodes, tell us how you really feel. My goodness. Uh, yeah, don't ever let me get on Brandy Rhodes' bad side because I don't ever want to get into a spar with her. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I mean, you don't want to start something with the big Shaq Daddy, and the thing is, he ain't going to back down from anybody, and he just may stomp a mud hole in your husband, Brandy. So you just started something that you may not, you or your husband may not be able to finish because
Don't start
Shaq's
something you
not going to
can't finish, folks.
exactly because Shaq may just stomp a mud hole in your candy ass. So yeah, so I'm interested to see where this goes from here. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
All right. Yeah. There was some definitely people who definitely got offended, hurt feelings, man. Look out. It's gonna get interesting. All right. So, with that said, then there was a whole bunch of hugabaloo inner circle crap. I'm not even getting into that. Uh, then we had was all right. So then we had was Lance Archer, uh, and the Lucha Bros. They went up against Eddie Kingston, Butcher, and the Blade in a six-man tag team match. Eddie Kingston, Butcher, and the Blade wins the match in 9 minutes and 45 seconds. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
3 stars. This match only had 1 week of build up behind it, but it already felt like a blood feud. Archer and Kingston are going to have some great matches in the future. Taking out Penta early on was an odd move, but it made Kingston's win easier to understand. The Blade and the Butcher looked good, but were almost afterthoughts in this match. Out of everything we had seen on the show up to this point, this match had the best action because it looked more convincing, especially when it came to Archer and Kingston. So I'm going to give this about three, teetering on 3.25 stars. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3 stars for me. I mean, this was a good match here. I mean, with only a week of build, and yeah, I mean especially after what we saw at the beginning when one of the Lucha Bros got taken out, and but the thing is still, I mean, Eddie Kingston started something he may not be able to finish, especially with Lance Archer, because Archer's one guy you do not want to screw around with, and and there's another thing I want to say, and that's to the bunny. Yeah, you better be careful when you're picking on the on some of the wrestlers, especially with the other Lucha Bro, and you better not talk smack with the Murdoch Monster, because yeah, you're not gonna like the end result. So yeah, 3 stars for me. So Fletch, I, all I can say is Eddie Kingston better be careful because he's got a Murdoch Monster on his trail.
Oh, yeah. That Murder Hawk monster is gaining on him, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But yeah, it was an all right match. I could say 3 stars, definitely solid, no doubt about it. Really nothing more to add. Next up, we had was Abaddon versus Tasha Prince, and Abaddon wins the match in a minute 15. Nothing more to add there. We're just gonna move on right on along. Then we had was Kenny Omega. Yes, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion cutting a promo with his buddy Don Callis. Uh, and, Michael Bullock, you lead off, and well, we saw we saw them last night. If you guys saw, record numbers for Impact Wrestling, not just on the television where they were up 20% last night for their Access TV, but they broke an all-time record on Twitch for their channel. Normally they average about 2 or 3 thousand a week on Twitch. 52,000 watching AEW, watching Impact Wrestling last night. An all-time record on Twitch as well. So yeah, Kenny Omega and Don Callis has definitely made their mark on the business. Mike Bullock, it's yours. I mean, what is there to say?
Yeah, there's really nothing to say. I mean, my goodness, this was to me the segment of the night. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, yeah, Kenny Omega and Don Callis explaining about the whole ordeal from last week, and yeah, basically throwing the world of AEW and Impact literally upside down, especially after the appearance of Kenny Omega on Impact last night. So who knows what's going to happen down the road? So I think the motto is for Don Callis and Kenny Omega. You people think you may have the answers, but we change the questions. So there's really nothing more to say. So Fletch, what do you make of this whole thing?
You know what? I'm wondering what's their play. What is really going on? I mean, we're hearing rumors about maybe that there's a working relationship between AEW and Impact Wrestling, but I haven't seen anything yet. Um, Don Callis talking about the relationship that him and Kenny Omega has. That was already known. I knew that. I knew this working relationship. I've seen this for a number of years. Callis was right. He was responsible for Jericho versus Omega at Wrestle Kingdom. He was. Um, this is well known. Their relationship between Callis and Omega, Callis and Jericho, they are very tight. They are very good friends. We known this for a number of years. We kind of got a little bit of that last night of how close Omega and Callis are, and this was genuine, real. It was a little bit of a shoot, but the one thing that they did that, well, kind of was a little bit of a surprise was that, I guess for the Impact Wrestling fans, was indeed them putting the nameplate of Kenny Omega on the AEW World Heavyweight title. That was kind of their nod to them. But also to see Tony Schiavone and Tony Khan himself cutting a promo talking about AEW on an Impact Wrestling show. This was unheard of. This was absolutely I'm going to say, I was watching this on Twitch. Twitch blew up the minute Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone was on that screen. I don't know I don't know, Florio, what you were watching on Access TV, but the reaction from the fans on Twitch last night was absolutely going crazy.
Of course. I mean, I I watched it as it happened, and I told you all I was gonna tune in. I was like, I ain't watching no damn Cowboy Raven game, no way. I was watching that, and yeah, I mean, when I saw those two, I'm like, okay, something's going on here. I'm like, Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone on Impact Television. I mean, whew, and I sent the video. Well, I sent it in our Wrestling Forum Messenger chat. I mean, it was mainly for Bullock because
Yep.
Bullock obviously doesn't have Access TV or Twitch. So, but I wanted everybody to see it, especially Bullock and the interview from last night's Impact with Josh Matthews. And but yeah, that's the first I heard about those record numbers, MF. I mean, wow, that's you are the Twitch guru out of us, so I'm not at all surprised that it had a big following. But I'm also very curious. What did your boys in the Discord have to say about it?
Well, the Discord guys didn't talk about it because I guess they didn't watch it. I do know a couple of them were reacting to it and was definitely are very interested to see what the AEW, that kind of realm. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But for me, I'm more intrigued. I kind of felt like we got teased last night. I kind of felt like they left us hanging, and it looks like they left us hanging again tonight. I don't think there
Yeah.
was any real true resolution about what's really going on. They like Mike Bullock said, we got so many answers. Well, like there's so many answers we want, but they leave us guessing on more questions. Like what's really going on?
Well, I
Well, the only people that know are Kenny Omega and Don Callis. And right now, they're not saying a damn thing.
No. And that's kind of if you're a wrestling fan, you're kind of frustrated right now with them too. You're just like, what the hell,
like-
guys? Come on. Give
Like
us
you two-
something. Just give
Like
us
you two SOBs, will you at least give us some kind of answer?
well, we don't want an answer, but just give us something
A
to
reason.
chump our. Yeah, there's no rhyme, there's no reason. But just give us something to sink our teeth into. They're not even
Yeah.
giving us anything for us to even work off. We're like,
Right.
what do you like? That's the frustrating part.
but
And you think
Hold on.
these two
Whoa.
give a damn?
no, go ahead,
Hold,
no, go ahead,
Hold.
Bullock, go ahead.
Let Floyo go because I know you had something. Go ahead.
Yeah, but but for MF, I mean, I'm very curious to for MF here. Is this the Kenny Omega that you saw in Japan?
Yes,
This is him.
this is him.
Yes.
This is the cleaner.
Yes.
You got him. You wanted it.
Hell
You
yeah, I
got
did.
it. You've got him. Hook, line, and sinker. This is the real Kenny Omega. The self-centered, egotistical SOB. This is the real Kenny Omega. Yup.
All right. So I'm gonna give my thoughts on this now. You remember I said there was another segment I thought was the segment of the night. This was it. Kenny Omega is officially a heel, and AEW is all the better for it. Between his promos on Impact and Dynamite, he has firmly cemented himself as the top star in All Elite Wrestling by embracing his dark side. It was surprising to see Jon Moxley stay away, but that's for the best. The rematch needs to be built up over time. The next time they trade blows should be at least a few weeks from now. Don Callis was as enthusiastic as he has ever been, and this was the kind of segment that will have people talking. Even though, yes, I understand, we didn't really get that, big bang moment. Give it time. We're going to get it eventually, guys. But at the end of the day, though, this was money. Absolute money. Just like it was last night. I mean, last night was great. This was just as awesome. And for me, I'm honored to finally see the real Kenny Omega because I didn't really get to see much Japan stuff. I mean, here and there I got to see some, but I want to see this. This is the Kenny Omega I've been wanting to see. I mean, the Omega that MF knows from that, not just MF, but Derek too. I mean, MF, you and Derek Ferreira, you two are the New Japan guys, and and I know this is the guy. Especially Derek Ferreira. I know this is Derek's boy right here, and I know how much he loves it when he does the when Kenny does his sign off, the good night and the bang and all that. And I know how much Derek loves it, and I'm sure I know Derek had to be marking out like you know what when he saw it. So, but for me, the segment of the night, and I cannot wait to continue on this ride with the cleaner Kenny Omega, the New Japan Kenny Omega that made him such a mega star. So I can't wait. So I don't know what else there is to say, MF, except we got a high stakes main event for the Dynamite Diamond.
Dynamite Diamond on the line. The current holder, the man that won it a year ago, MJF. Maxwell Jacob Freeman goes one-on-one with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF, wins the match. 13 minutes, 35 seconds. He has successfully retained the Dynamite Diamond ring. I believe it goes to you, Anthony.
UMF.
Oh, me. Fight of the night. Solid 3.5 to 3 3/4. I'm not gonna give it the 4. Obviously, overbooked finish, a whole bunch of other stuff that happened. But MJF wins again. He has not lost a match other than the match against John Moxley. That was for the AEW World Title. But he continues to rise and continues to get big victories. And this was another big one. To knock off Orange Cassidy, who is a rising star in AEW. I think we can definitely say he's definitely in the picture that could be a big name in 2021. But MJF is also a rising star as well. One of the top heels of the company right now, and has proved it yet again. Winning the Dynamite Diamond 2 years in a row, even though I could definitely say that this was kind of more of a defense of the ring, but he has successfully defended it 2 years in a row now. So, Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Fight of the night for me, 3.5 to 3.5. This was a good match, especially considering how many moving parts it had. The Inner Circle and Best Friends could have made this feel bloated, but it never felt like MJF and Cassidy lost their focus. MJF winning was somewhat surprising, but as soon as Miro showed up, it became crystal clear. Best Friends and Cassidy will continue their feud with Kip Sabian and Miro while MJF moves on. This was definitely the best match to end the show. It had great action and a decent story to go with it. So, there's not much more to say on this. Solid 3.5 stars. This was the fight of the night. So Michael Bullock, this is, I believe tonight, what we saw from Miro tonight here on AEW Dynamite, I think this was his personal best, and I think it's the best he has looked since he left the WWE. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, and you can ask another person for, how tough Miro is, especially with him being his best. That poor security guard, because you saw, he was trying to get Miro to leave, and, well, that security guard paid the price and got destroyed by Miro. So, yeah, so AEW is really making Miro look like look really dangerous here in AEW. So, but yeah, there's really nothing more to say. 3.5 stars. So, Fletch, let's get into our overall thoughts on the show.
Anthony Florio, you lead off.
Nowhere near as good as last week, obviously. Last week was maybe the best show of the year. This time, it was somewhat of a back to reality show. You had a film, but then again, I think this was a taped show anyway. So, but 7 out of it's going to have to be a 7 out of 10 for me. A little bit of a mixed bag. to be honest with you. The chaos. I'll tell you what. You know, we had some quality matches. I mean, the main event was the clear fight of the night. I mean, we had some other solid matches, but a couple other things could have been better. And but you had a feeling. I mean, you had a feeling after the epicness of last week. You had a feeling they were gonna take a step back this time around. But and they did, unfortunately. But we got some exciting stuff coming down the pipeline. I'll tell you that. I believe they said now in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, December 23rd, they're going to be starting late. They're going to be starting about 10 o'clock or so because of the fact that the NBA is coming back, as you know. And there's going to be a game between Michael Bullock's Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. And that game is expected to run late. And Dynamite's going to be starting after that. So we're definitely going to have to think about what we're going to do with that in a couple weeks. And then December 30th, there's going to be the first of 2 New Year's type specials. And Chris Jericho is going to sit in on commentary. Always fun when he sits in on commentary, let me tell you. And I cannot wait to hear Le Champion do what he does best. I mean, he is such a riot on commentary. I love it. I can't wait for that. And then on January 6th, the first Dynamite of 2021, Snoop Dogg for shizzle, baby. Yeah, Snoop Dogg's going to be in the house, guys. So have a nice sizzle. That's all there is to say on that. So Snoop the DOGG is going to be on Dynamite. That first show of 2021. So big things coming down the pipeline. So all there is to say on that. So 7 out of 10 for me. Michael Bullock, you would have to consider this show, as we would say, back to reality after that epic show we had a week ago.
Yeah, I would have to say 6.5 to 7 for me. I mean, this was literally a step back after that awesome show they had last week. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's get to you, and then let's get on to NXT.
Yeah, I'm with Florio on this one. This was disappointing. I mean, this was nowhere near the level of what happened about a week ago. I can only give this maybe 7 out of 10. So nothing more to say. Let's go into NXT, starting off with the NXT champion Finn Balor. Uh, you know, Balor cuts a promo. Then it was with Pete Dunne. Uh, there was a lot going on this. I mean, there's a lot that got called out. Then there was Damian Priest, but before anything happened, let's just say, well, okay. So we had Balor, we had Kyle O'Reilly from the Undisputed Era. Then we had Damian Priest. And then after that, let's just say we had a major hello by Scarlett Bordeaux. Okay. I said it last week. There was the crow or the vulture. Now, and then there was the thinking about the TikTok. Now Scarlett. She's here. You know what that means. We all know what that means. Cross is not far behind. And sure enough, he was not. Cross is back. And now it's real. It's on now. Scarlett has returned. and it looks like Cross and maybe Damian Priest might be the first. We'll see. Anthony Florio, there's a lot of moving parts for that NXT World title. And boy, has it got interesting.
You said it got real. Would you say, MF, that it was real, recognizing real?
Dude, I haven't said those words in a long time, but I'll give it to you. It is. It
Real,
is.
recognizing real, man.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't say it, but I'll confirm it. Yeah.
The minute you saw the smoke show, that's when it got real. You're right. Um, but I do have to give some constructive criticism though. The segment didn't accomplish too much. It showed that there are a variety of challengers for the NXT Championship, though others were awkwardly left in the back. The back and forth banner did not sell Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly, or Damian Priest any more than anyone would already see them as contenders. Scarlett further establishing that Cross is on his way back made more of an impact. Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross has serious potential. Hopefully that match is kept for a major NXT takeover. But Finn Balor confirmed that the first NXT show of 2021 on January 6th, which I believe is in 4 weeks' time, he's going to defend the NXT Championship. And that means we're going to get an NXT Championship match on free television, not the WWE Network. It's going to be on the USA Network 4 weeks from tonight. New Year's Evil, they're calling it. So that's all there is to say on that. So a solid way to start the show. So Michael Bullock, I mean, what do you say to that? Finn Balor is going to defend the title on the first NXT show of 2021 on the USA Network, free television. How about it? New Year's Evil.
Yeah, that's definitely something big. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this was a good way to start it off. I mean, obviously, all the other guys making a serious contention for they want the NXT title. I mean, from Damian Priest to Kyle O'Reilly to Pete Dunne. But yeah, the appearance of Scarlett Bordeaux, yeah, Karrion Kross is not far behind. And I'm already going to say it. You know what I say, Florio? Who's going to challenge Finn Balor on that New Year's Evil?
I'm guessing it's probably going to be Kross. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, just think of the title, New Year's Evil. Yep. That fits well with Karrion Kross. So to me, it makes sense. I mean, what says you, Florio?
I 100% agree. I mean,
Fletch?
I know a lot of the purists. I know a lot of the purists want to see it at a major takeover, but if you want to start the first show of 2021 with a bang, this New Year's Evil they're calling it, you got to do it here. And on top of that, Damian Priest, you heard him. He said, "Hey, smoke show." He knows.
Yeah.
Just want to get that off my chest.
Yeah, that's how I.
Oh. And the thing is, Damian Priest, yeah, he is not afraid of the smoke show. He's not afraid of mixing it up. And knowing with Kross, if Kross and Priest go at it, oh man, that's a batten down the hatches fight. That somebody's gonna get hurt if that fight happens. So I mean,
but can Damian Priest handle the fire of Karrion Kross?
I think he can handle it. I don't think he'll be able to. I think he can handle the fire. Unfortunately, I think he's just going to get overwhelmed and actually get swallowed at the end. But
as Scarlett would say, Damian Priest is going to fall and pray.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to end up praying, but he will fall. And it's going to be That's going to be one of those type of fights. That's going to be almost similar to what we saw on Sunday night when Timothy Thatcher went up against Tommaso Ciampa. Just two monsters just going right at it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's going to be like that kind of a fight. If anybody wants a comparison between Damian Priest and Killian Cross, Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher from this past NXT War Games. That's the kind of fight you're gonna get. A be a man fight is what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
These
Yep.
guys are gonna destroy themselves.
Exactly. So there's nothing more to say, Fletch. Let's move on.
All right. Yeah, nothing to say. First fight of the evening, as we jump it off here, was let's see. It was let's see. Isaiah Swerve Scott going up against Jake Atlas. Jake Atlas wins the match in 4 minutes and 26 seconds. And Anthony, after the match, it looks like Isaiah Swerve Scott has turned heel.
He has. This was a fine but short match. These two can do so much more. Too much of this contest was the feeling out process, potentially because they were saving it for a rematch down the line. Swerve as a heel can certainly work. However, Scott will need to do more than just glare. It's going to take time and story. A true rivalry with Atlas should do wonders as Atlas is so likable. The pairing could keep the Cruiserweight division relevant beyond Legado del Fantasma, that's for sure. 2.5 stars for the effort. So, Michael Bullock, fun little sprint here, and it looks like they're testing the waters for a Swerve heel turn, which I think could do him wonders if he does it.
What did you give it, Florio?
I gave it 2.5. What says you, man?
Yeah, it was 2.5 for this fun little sprint. Yeah, I think Isaiah Swerve Scott as a heel will do wonders for him. I mean, I think he would do better as a heel than what he's doing as a babyface, because him as a babyface really hasn't gotten over with anybody. So, yeah, so that's really all I can say on it. So, Fletch, it's yours.
F, are you there?
What? Are you there?
Sorry, guys, I was preoccupied with something here. Yeah, I mean, it was an alright match. Quick little sprint. I'll give this about 1.5 to 2. Nothing more to say. Then after that, we had, we had ourselves a triple threat tag team match. Grizzled Young Veterans versus Imperium versus Anthony Floyo's favorite team, Everrise.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, winners of the bout in 7 minutes and 7 seconds was the Grizzled Young Veterans. They get the big victory here. Michael Bullock, it is all yours.
2.5 stars is my rating for it. I mean, it was a fine match, but I feel like it made me want a little more from this. But yeah, nice win for the Grizzle Vets. But I'll tell you what, if Everrise had gone over, oh boy, I'd have to hold Anthony. Yeah, I would have to hold Anthony Florio back because he would probably go off Bret Hart 1997 style.
Oh,
and
yeah, he would.
Channel the channel. I'm gonna bring back a favorite moment of myself and MF here. But then again, Bullock remembers this one too. But this was more of a me and MF moment. The infamous Bad News Brown, Roddy Piper. If you want, you know the bony legs moment.
Oh,
You remember?
yeah.
I remember that. That was prior to their WrestleMania 6 match.
That's it. Yeah, and then I would be exploding on the Bad News, and yeah, you guys would have to hold me back. Oh man, I'd be going berserk.
Yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, 2 stars for the battle. Really nothing more to say about it. This was a solid match. Uh, like we said, if Everrise would have won, oh god, I really would have feared for my life tonight. But it's all right. I mean, nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
I'm about to surprise a lot of people with what I'm about to say. 3 stars, 3-star effort, and these tag teams have a unique dynamic that is difficult to pin down. However, even without a clear face, this contest worked wonders. It was fun and energetic. All 3 teams fought with everything to get this win, setting them up for a tag team title opportunity soon enough. And I know I'm going to surprise a lot of people with what I'm about to say here, but this is as a professional. Everrise in particular brought everything to look on the same level as 2 of NXT's best teams. It should be fun to see what comes next for the stacked NXT tag team division. But the grizzled young veterans deserve a serious run with the NXT tag team championships. That's just my thought on it. So I still can't stand them. I still can't stand Everrise. You know my feeling on them. I think they're a bunch of ham and eggers, channeling Bobby Heenan, but you guys already know that. So but that's all there is to say on that. So I solid 3 stars. This is another fun little sprint. So MF, let's just move on.
All right. So then after that, we did have a promo segment at Tony Storm, as she asked about um, why she betrayed Ember Moon, and basically it looks like Tony Storm's made it abundantly clear, about everything that's been going on. So Ember Moon, Tony Storm, their rivalry definitely is going. Then we had a good one. Tommaso Ciampa going one-on-one with Cameron Grimes. Ciampa wins the match in 10 minutes and 49 seconds. I'm just going to say this. This was another impressive performance by Ciampa. Solid 3-star, another solid 3-star match. But the one thing that I saw at the end, Timothy Thatcher. Oh boy, guys, this is not over. Thatcher and Ciampa. Maybe Ciampa's gonna take Thatcher under the wing, or these two might just say, "Screw this and let's go another round." I'll tell you this: I would sign up for that one. Shut up and take my money. I would love to see you two throw down one more time, man. I was thoroughly entertained at War Games when you guys beat the living holy hell out of each other. Give me another round of this. Sign me up for that. Florio, it's yours.
And if they do, I'm sure MF, you and your boys from the Discord are going to be going nuts over it like you did the other night. I'm sure.
My boy Mikey basically lost himself. He basically we had to hold him back in a good way. We had to hold him back because he was giddier than a schoolgirl with that fight.
Yeah, you remember? Yeah, you remember my old saying on that. But anyways, you're absolutely right. This was another 3.25 star match. The battle between Ciampa and Grimes was solid, but it lacked a clear story. The technical savage is better in contests with build. Here, he was the generic heel, beating down the Blackheart until he made his expected comeback for the win. Tommaso Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher 2 has serious potential, but it is important that the technician not lose out anymore. He needs to be able to show he can match up to one of the NXT elite. He has lost too many big matches lately. I'm talking about Timothy Thatcher. So, but yeah, I mean, if it's anything like what we saw the other night at War Games, oh my goodness, that's going to be something. So, yeah, so not much more to say. So, Michael Bullock, would you, if they decide to do Ciampa versus Thatcher in a rematch, a Ciampa Thatcher 2, if you will, is that something you'd be interested in? I'm sure it would, Mr. Bullock.
Yeah, I'm definitely up for it. I'm definitely up for another one, but we'll wait and see what happens. So, a 3-star match, I agree. I mean, yeah, solid match all around. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on.
And then after that, um, next up we had, was the Garganos. They were cutting a promo. It was a lot. There was a lot to talk about on that one. Then we had a match between Killian Dane versus Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne wins the match. Who leads off on this? Is it Anthony?
I believe it is.
It's yours, bro.
Yeah. The Gargano family are a delightful group. Austin Theory is the odd man out right now, and it works. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae are fun together, but they needed people to work off with their overconfidence. Theory and Hartwell are the perfect young apprentices to heighten their arrogance. Damian Priest needs to move away from the Rebel Heart, so Karrion Kross is the perfect man to help with that. He and Priest could be a fun rivalry for months to come. Both are near title contention and can elevate each other. So, not much more to say on this. So, Michael Bullock, Karrion Kross, I told you he was going to be. Triple H said he was going to be back any second. Well, he's back, and he went right after Damian Priest. Look out!
Oh yeah, yeah, he's definitely back in a big way, and yeah, now it's going to be Damian Priest and Karrion Kross. So they're heading for something good. So yeah, the promo was all right, but it could have been better. So nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Nothing more to add there. So now we're gonna do it. Killian Dane versus versus Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne beats Killian Dane. Michael Bullock, I'll give this to you. So unfortunately, I don't have a time. I don't know why.
Yeah. Actually, Florio, can you find it? Because
Sure,
yeah,
I can get it. But this is the
Killian Dane and Pete Dunne.
13 minutes and 43 seconds.
Whoa!
Wow. Yeah.
That's a fight of the
So
night contender.
That's fight of the night level, boys.
that's fight of the night for me. 3.5 stars is my rating on the match. I mean, this was a good match. I mean, yeah, I mean, Pete Dunne and Killian Dane definitely made this a really good match here, and definitely was worthy of fight of the night as far as I'm concerned. So nothing more to say. Fletch, what says you?
Yeah, I agree. Three and a half stars. Fight of the night level. Nothing more to add. Florio, go.
Yeah. Let me see. This was the best match Killian Dane has had in years. He and Pete Dunne clicked in a way that few have with the Beast of Belfast. It helped that the Beast looked way better working as a face underneath rather than working as a dominant heel. It made sense for the Bruiserweight to win, even in such an important revenge match for Dane. He got to hang with a future world title contender, so he certainly got a serious rub in this physical match. 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. You can definitely make an argument for fight of the night, so no question about it. So MF, speaking of future stars being made, well, we talked about this young lady the other night, and I think we're about to sing her praises one more time.
Hold. There is one quick thing.
Okay.
Next week on NXT, we got a tag team fight. Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano was originally going to fight. They were originally going to fight Leon Ruff, and it was supposed to be Damian Priest. But because of what happened, thanks to Killian Kross, Priest would not be eligible to fight. Therefore, now it looked like Leon Ruff was stuck in the mud. So, well, he wasn't. Because let's just say he got himself a Marty McFly friend. Kushida steps up. We got Kushida. Theory. We have Ruff and Kushida versus Austin Theory and Gargano next week. Ooh, that's gonna be a good tag team fight on NXT. Let's go! I'm hyped for that match. Now it's the main event. Yes, here we go. Um, let me see. As it was Raquel Gonzalez against Ember Moon. Raquel Gonzalez wins the match in 13:07. Like you said, Anthony, we're singing her praises. Great matchup, a very solid main event, no doubt about it. Um, you could say second best fight of the night easily. Another 3.5 stars. Florio, it's yours.
3.25 to 3.5. This was a great showcase match for Raquel Gonzalez. She has found her role as the brutalizer of the NXT women's division. Her size and strength are a unique pairing in the women's division, and she has improved immensely in utilizing what she does best. She and Ember Moon are a great pairing, and there's plenty of time to develop to a future match between the two. This was a worthy physical main event. It established that Gonzalez should be next in line for the NXT Women's Championship. It will be between her and Toni Storm. That's all there is to say on that. So 3.25 to 3.5 stars. Second best fight of the night. I 100% agree. So Michael Bullock, the women's division, they did it again. They put out another good one.
Yeah, they definitely put on another good one, and definitely did not disappoint. So 3.25, 3.5. I do agree. I mean, these ladies definitely made this a really good match, and yeah, Raquel Gonzalez assured herself, I mean, why she should be the next in line to challenge Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Title. I mean, Toni Storm is definitely making a case, but I mean, there is one other person that she's going to have to get by. That Raquel Gonzalez is going to have to get by before she gets to Io, as we saw at the end.
Rhea.
Rhea Ripley.
She's back. Yup.
Yeah,
She
she's saying,
has not forgotten.
yeah, she's probably saying, before you get to Io, you got to get through me first.
Yep.
So, yeah, so she basically sent the message loud and clear. So, these two are heading for another match somewhere down the line. So, there's nothing more to say. Fletch, Raquel got the win, but if she's going to get the NXT Women's title, she's going to have to go through the nightmare again.
Oh yeah, and welcome to her brutality if that comes down. So here we go again. Rhea Ripley is not going away, and quite frankly, none of us wants to see her go away at all when it comes to the NXT Women's Title division. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. Nothing more to add here. Final thoughts for NXT. Anthony, yeah, you lead off, so it's all yours.
I got to give NXT the win here this week. I got to give it about 7.5 to 7.75 out of 10. The match quality I thought was better than AEW Dynamite, especially that Killian Dane and Pete Dunne match. I mean, go out of your way to see that one. It was really good, as well as that women's main event. I mean, that was both of those were very well done. Very much looking forward to that tag team match next week with Kushida and Leon Ruff against Gargano and Theory. Yes, that's definitely got some potential there, no doubt about it. So it wasn't a blowaway win, but it was a smidgen of a win. That's all I got to say there. So I'm going to give it about 7.5 to 7.75 out of 10. So not much more to say, Michael Bullock. I think your show barely got by AEW, but it was not a resounding win. It was more of a snuck out the back door kind of win.
Yeah, they barely got the win here this week, as far as I'm concerned. 7.5 out of 10 is my rating for this week's show. And like you said, the quality of matches here were just a smidget better. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. Fletch, it's yours.
7.5 out of 10. NXT wins the week. Nothing more to add, guys. That's it. We're done for the night. So tomorrow night is College Football Thursday, hosted by Anthony Florio. As always, we're going to get into whatever top 25 games is out there. Unfortunately, we lost a major one. Michigan, Ohio State is off the table. COVID-19 strikes again. And this time it took one of the biggest and the best rivalries in college football away from us this
Damn,
year. Yeah,
Cincy and Tulsa also got taken off the board too.
and Cincy and Tulsa has been taken off the board.
But they will meet. But they will meet in the American Athletic Conference title game. They will meet in that.
So that's good news for Ohio State. This is bad.
Horrible.
This is wicked bad news because
they're ineligible.
Yeah, they would be ineligible to play for the Big Ten title. And on top of that, what type of ramifications would this have towards the college football playoff? Could this knock them out of the tournament? Could they have and here's the thing that everybody's wondering. Has Michigan just screwed Ohio State out of a national championship?
I know
it's
you would
very
love that.
possible. Oh, no.
Hold on.
This is one of those where even I would be a little like, whoa. But I did hear something about maybe Indiana might save the day.
I just found something on the Yahoo, and I'm not at all surprised that they're doing this. That the Big Ten Conference Administrators Council voted today to eliminate the minimum game requirement for participation in the Big Ten championship. So in a way, they basically made up the rules as they went along, and they think that Ohio State would have advanced to the Big Ten championship based on its undefeated record and head-to-head victory over Indiana, regardless of a win or a loss against Michigan.
All right. So if that's the case, then at least Ohio State, that gives them at least one more game, the Big Ten championship.
Sounds like it to me.
Yeah.
And we only have it's not the most exciting slate, but there are some halfway decent games that we're gonna get into. North Carolina and Miami, there's a good one. That's got potential. I think Iowa and Wisconsin are supposed to get it on as well. But the one game, when it comes to this weekend, this Saturday though, there's only Georgia and Missouri. That's a standout. Oklahoma, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Iowa, Carolina, Miami, LSU, Florida, USC, UCLA. I mean, the history of those two, obviously, but to me, when it comes to it, even though neither team is ranked,
we have to do it by default. Yeah, Army Navy.
That's the game of the week right there.
Army Navy. Yep.
From West Point. MF, you and Eric. I mean, I know you guys are ready.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait.
We'll preview that tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So until then, thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Michael Bullock, as always. And thank you guys. So like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms. We'll see you tomorrow night. And until then, so long, everybody.
Goodbye.